Part 2. Azure Moon. Heartstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Dimitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
So the name of this chapter is The King's Triumphant Return, so it seems like we're finally gonna manage to get Dimitri out of his state that he's in. And he can probably finally deepen his bonds. We're probably gonna be seeing quite a few conversations here, I imagine. Seems like we might finally be able to snap him out of it bit by bit. If it didn't take so long to load, that is. My, oh my. Come on, game. You can do it. I want to know what happens.
Our victory at Gronder was certainly a turning point for us. However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
Are there no lords we can rely on?
Unfortunately, with things as they are now, I don't think House Gautier has any resources to spare.
I'm sorry. I really wish we could help. If only House Galatea had anything to give.
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing.
I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people. Those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdiad, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdiad, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in. I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No. Something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
Count me in.
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus.
Nice, Dimitri finally has some sense back in him, and that music that was playing there was very impactful. I very much enjoyed that theme. Let me tell you. I don't think we want to do any certifications right now. If we do, I can wait until later. We've got no paralogs this time. And yeah, so we're going to be doing Reclaiming the Capital. After Rodrigue's death, Dimitri reassesses his plan of attack. For the sake of the kingdom, he chooses to forestall an invasion of the Empire in favor of securing his own capital city of Ferdiad. Yeah, Dimitri's finally coming back to us. Hello, Cam, how's it going? Hello, hello. 1% of people rest this day. Wonky. Let's go ahead and explore. Do some exploring. So now there's kind of a ton of support conversations that can be done here. It looks like. Oh my goodness. Yep, that is a lot of conversations Dimitri's gonna have to have. I guess my only conversation there is with Dimitri himself. I guess so. You did some gamer things? What kind of gamer things, Cam? So does that mean that Dimitri comes back to class again? Yeah, he comes back to class. Nice. So he's finally gonna start coming to class again and doing his homework and being a good student. Thank goodness for that. And his motivation's already maxed. So I mean, I could save that conversation for later unless it's already on the map. You did an overlay for PMD, so are you actually gonna stream it on Twitch then? I'll probably have to go talk to him anyway. So whatever, I guess I won't get the free motivation there. Maybe, probably. Nice. Yeah, one of these days I'll have to throw something like that together. Speaking of overlays for things, I've been designing overlays potentially for a Pokemon X and Y Soul Link that I might do with Ketzenjester in the next month. So I've been throwing ideas at the wall, and this is the kind of idea that I had so far for Pokemon X and Pokemon Y for each streamer. But we're kind of throwing some different ideas at the wall right now, potentially doing just one stream and having all the screens on that, or if we want to like re-record things or stuff like that. We're figuring out the details and stuff right now, but yeah, so I've been designing overlays too. That I've been doing.
It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax.
Wait, you saw that there?
We have to go out on another expedition again so soon.
Yeah.
And now we're headed to the camp.
Yeah.
That sounds hard. Oh, really hard.
Jay made it for you? That was nice of him. We'll be fine.
Of course you'd say that. Why'd I even ask?
Let's go ahead and go this way. Wait, there's somebody inside one of these rooms here. That's the first time I've seen that. Hey, Lysathea. So this is your room then.
The prince seems to have finally come to his senses. Though it's a real shame that Lord Rodrigue passed away.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I definitely wasn't expecting that curveball.
Starting to see a sliver of hope for the future of
But a good way to spur Dimitri back to his senses. Definitely a good thing for that there. Also, I have 40,000 Gers now, so I can go ahead and keep giving the crops the best fertilizer again. Is what I can do. So let's go ahead and do that again. Because yeah, those DLC auxiliary battles, hoo boy, did they ever give a lot of gold.
Okay.
My oh my. Here's my thought.
In this pond get fed every day. So they're swimming all lazy and serene. But the only reason they're kept here is so that they can one day be used for food.
Yep.
But the fish don't know that, so they just swim around happily. It's a bit of a miserable thought. But aren't soldiers much the same?
I guess so. Okay, time to interact with the best character in the game.
Professor? Greetings, Professor.
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. Ferdiad is a city with a long history that goes back to before Fargus gained its independence. I'd like to visit that place at least once before I die. But I'm afraid I have my own work to attend to. It's hard being so dedicated. Ah, well. I'll go there for some leisurely sightseeing once Fodlan knows peace.
Why does it keep saying there's a conversation over here with... Oh, there is this time. That's why. I yoinked a carrot from that guy's stall.
If you manage to take back Ferdiad, it'll make it a bit easier for us to do business. Taxes in the Fargus dukedom are ridiculously high. Makes it hard to even think about trading.
Jeez.
That Cornelia woman. What does she use that ample tax money for anyway? From the Empire's perspective, I suppose it makes sense to squeeze the former kingdom territories for all they're worth. But if they throw those territories into total ruin, doesn't that defeat the purpose of conquering them?
Is that a hint of some sort there? About what their aims are. Vegetable seeds, yoink. Ooh, I can get some master seals.
Welcome.
Do you sell those? You sell a master seal.
Thanks a bunch.
I need master seals. Is what I need. No, you didn't restock. You only have like 5 ever, or you only get more later. Okay, I have to very much pick and choose where my master seals are going in that case. What the heck? I mean, I've never mastered this many classes before, so I've never needed this many master seals, but oh boy. My oh my.
Dimitri hated the Empire with a fiery passion. At Gronder, driven by fury, he sent many good knights to their doom. Now he appears to be freed from that hatred. If he can make thoughtful decisions, unswayed by his emotions, he may make a fine king someday.
Hello, Anima. Abracadabra? Doing a spell there of some sort? Kings are only human.
No, they are not. A king must strive to be a king first and a human second.
Interesting way of looking at it.
I agree that we should
Casting
check the
spells, I
Ferdiad.
see. How you doing,
Let's
Anima?
not forget our search for Lady Rhea. The soldiers from the church are going to set up a base at the Great Bridge of Murden. They'll be able to keep up the search while we head for the kingdom capital.
Alrighty. Also, are people halfway motivated? No, I'll motivate everyone with food then.
The kingdom capital. It's been way too long since I was there last.
Good way for an Uber to get to friend's house.
Professor,
I've never actually used Uber before.
It's not that I'm looking forward to it or anything.
I never have. Wait, what? Kingdom capital. You don't have to hide it.
Please don't tease me like that. It's just, when I think of us finally saving everyone in Ferdiad, it makes me a little happy. The kingdom capital is under the tight control of Cornelia, who was ennobled by the Empire. Judging by what we heard from Lord Rodrigue, it sounds like she's a tyrant. But all of that ends soon. Let's get there quickly.
Yeah, it's alright, but you wouldn't use it so much. Yeah, I... Typically, if I need to get from point A to point B, I'll use my own car, even if it's definitely not the best car in the world. But yeah, sometimes there are places that you need to get to or from that it's not as convenient as just being able to
Up until a few decades
drive
ago,
as well.
Ferdiad was a disorderly
Typically, I
city.
take the train or I drive.
The water supply was poorly constructed. As such, it was a hotbed of sickness and disease. The late king hired a researcher named Cornelia, who advised that he give top priority to improving the city's infrastructure. In the space of just a few years, the city was transformed into a place of beauty and order.
But with incredible
At the
taxes.
same time, the diseases that had plagued our land loosened their grip, one after another. It was miraculous.
You don't drive, you should though. Yeah, it's so liberating being able to just, you know, drive wherever you need to get.
So we're turning around and heading for the kingdom capital? Ridiculous. Tell him to cease this nonsense. Isn't there a saying in Bodlin? Something about those with power knowing how to use it? If he's not careful, the goddess will send her saints to smite him. Not that I believe that.
Well. This away. Hello.
I've come to deliver vegetables we harvested in the village to the monastery's dining
How
hall.
kind of you.
Because of the season, I couldn't really pick that much. But I wanted to help you guys out. Even just a little
Aww.
bit. We're busily planting seeds. So when things start to grow, I'll be back.
But yeah, from where you would go if you did, there's stupid people in cars. Oh. Can you let me through here? What the heck? Yeah, other drivers scare me, but I know that like drivers here definitely aren't as bad as in a lot of places. Like drivers here in general aren't that bad at all, but sometimes there's that one in the bunch. Like I had somebody pass me on the highway once by using the shoulder of the road. Like sometimes there's still crazy people.
When you work your muscles and they start screaming, that means you gotta be nice to them. If your muscles are hungry, you gotta feed them and let them rest when they're tired.
You can tell how your muscles are feeling?
Of course. If my muscles hurt, then I'm hurt.
Of course.
Hungry? Well, then I'm hungry too. What's with the confused face, Professor? You look like you don't get a word I'm saying.
Alright, let's motivate everyone here. That's what we can do. Get the motivation up. 2 times that you had drove, you almost got into accidents and all 3 were driving pickup trucks, so you're scared of them. Jeez. Yeah, I rarely have to drive a truck myself. Sometimes here and there, but I definitely much prefer my car to driving a truck. Because driving a truck, it's so high up and it feels like you're driving a tank. Like, at least the one that I sometimes drive, it's like super high up. So it's like, yeah, it feels like you're driving a small tank. I don't like it. I much prefer my small car. So to do Felix Gilbert is what we better do there. Ah, Gilbert's not gonna get any training this time. Yeah, you just know fate though.
I like this.
Glad you do.
That looks appetizing.
Yeah, I feel a bit uncomfortable driving trucks. Sometimes I do, but I feel a bit uncomfortable doing so. I much prefer my car. It's a tiny little thing. I mean, it's not super tiny. It's still got 4 doors for like 4 passengers. 5, I guess, with the 1 person in the center in the back. And it's a hatchback, so I mean, it's not like it's super small or anything. But it's a nice, cute size, and it gets me from point A to point B. Like, it's small, but it also fits so much since it's a hatchback. Like, I remember when I went to Fragapalooza, where I participated in those 2 Smash tournaments, taking a bunch of my gear. I remember I was able to fit this chair that I'm on right now in the back. Like, you fold down the back seats, and then you can just fit so much in there. It's like a perfect car for me. Really? Just the one thing this time? Dang it, man. Honeyed fruit blend. Useless. Get better stuff next time, Byleth. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Get better stuff next time. You hear me? Yeah. But yeah, one day you think you might pass from a truck. Scary thought. What car do I drive? Honda or Toyota? I drive a Pontiac Vibe. Is what I drive. A 2005 Pontiac Vibe. And I mean, it's definitely not the most reliable thing, considering every summer the AC breaks and every winter the heat breaks. I've had a whole bunch of other weird issues with it. Like, once I was pressing in the buttons for my windows, and the buttons like detached from their hinges, so the buttons like fell into the panel of the side door. So I had to muck around with a door to basically pull that back up and get it back in place. But yeah, a dinosaur Pontiac is extinct. Well, it has good gas mileage. It gets me from point A to point B, and yeah, sure, it's not the most reliable thing, what with, you know, both heat and AC dying every time I need them. But at the end of the day, it gets me from point A to point B. It's good on gas. It only has a 40-liter tanks, and that lasts for quite a while, so it's not too expensive to keep running like that, even if I do have to spend for other things when it has problems there.
I don't feel like I can just forget all the awful stuff he's done.
But yeah, they're rare now.
But if His Highness is
that wouldn't surprise me. I don't know that much about cars.
I figure I can give him that chance. We've been friends since we were kids. I'm gonna be there for him all the way to the end.
Nice, Sylvain. Nice. Hey, Dimitri.
Professor, I really caused trouble for you, didn't I?
Yep.
I am so sorry, truly. I am also eternally grateful to you.
Aww.
Now, it's time to go to the kingdom capital. I hope that you will lend me your strength once again.
Aww. Sure, give me some lance training. I don't know. But yeah, the car that I drive, it's been used by 2 people before me. So, I was able to get it at a not bad price.
Everyone is saying His Highness is back to his old
like,
self.
it was originally owned by someone, then it went to another person, and then I bought it.
What he was until recently is what he had been for as long as I've known him. So tortured by his compassion for the fallen that it had driven him mad. He has always been too kind to be king. He has always felt too much for the weak and the dead. That is exactly why I look up to him.
Aww.
Okay.
Hey, Leonie.
Dimitri's completely changed. Or maybe I should say he's finally back to normal.
Hmm.
Either way, I'm glad he's come around.
Which one
to the
is he,
idea of
though?
retaking Ferdiad. With our current troops, there's no way we could handle the Imperial capital. We wouldn't even get past Fort Mercius.
Running, 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 running. I swear I never pick up owl feathers anymore after the time skip. There's some people over here. Invisible soldier.
I can still hardly believe we managed to win against numbers like that. Oh, unless the real me is lying dead in Gronder, and this is all just a happy dream.
Hello.
Hello.
We buried Lord Rodrigue's body ourselves. There wasn't time to do things properly. It pains me that I was unable to take him home to his territory. Once this war is over, I'd like to hold a proper funeral for him.
Aww.
For now, we need to focus on taking back Ferdiad. All will be well eventually. I know we can win.
Boopity bop. Okay, game devs, why would you put a dog in front of a grave barking? Why would you do that, man?
Right.
It's too sad. How dare you do that, game devs?
Definitely. After that great battle earlier, the balance of power in Fodlan has shifted greatly. To get revenge for all our fallen friends, we'll have to stake our lives on the fight that lies before us.
It's funny how I can run fast enough that these characters don't even load in and I can just talk to them invisible and then they come and load in. But I actually prefer it when games do things that way. Rather than make it like a loading screen before you can enter an area, just letting you go into that like sooner, but having it be partially unloaded and then it loads back in because it lets you do things faster. I mean, if you like really wanted to wait for them to come in, then you just like wait out here until they load in and then you go in there rather than, you know, there being a loading screen. Does that make sense? So I actually prefer that kind of outlook for games where it's like, let's get the player there sooner, even if stuff gets loaded in later. I actually quite like that because you can do things sooner.
I can see further than most other people can see, but I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see.
This is like the same answer there. You could detect any movements in advance.
I suppose I could see a whole
Also,
horde
I'm
of
receiving a
enemies
message
come in
here.
and run away. That's kind of useful, at least.
Meh. Something that I had to read there.
Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
Nice, man. My eyes aren't as good. Hello. Okay, let's go see the training grounds.
That's right.
Hey, Caspar.
Believe it, Professor? Dimitri actually apologized to me. Remember that awful business between him and my Uncle Randolph? He just came by and said he was sorry for all that. That was behind us as far as I was concerned. But even so, it seems like he's changed for the better.
Indeed. What do we have this time? Axe tournaments, and it gives a silver axe plus. I'll do training for my own unit instead. I think probably be better spent. Is there a note? There's one note. I'm so busy working that I don't have time to train, but I want to do my job right. What should I do? Just do what you can and try your best. You'll have to cut down on your sleeping time. Don't worry, your allies will pick up the slack. This is what Cyril would like, right? You'll just have to cut down on your sleeping time, Cyril. Dang it, man. He's such a hard worker. I thought he'd actually like that. Oh, man. But yeah, that's how I feel. I don't have enough time to do all the stuff that I want to do. You know? There's too many things to do.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
What?
What? I love the things people say as you go by them. I love that. But yeah, gonna head out. I assume it's supposed to be hope everything goes well for this stream. Bye. Alright, thanks for stopping by, Anima. Hope you have a good rest of the day.
And here we are, preparing for the next battle, as if nothing happened the day
What are you doing, my dude?
It's almost easier to think about war as theater. With the stage, an entire continent.
Though actors die, the show goes on?
Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
Let's go talk to Ash on the bridge. Here's what we can do. Hello, Ash.
Anyway, I was born and raised in Fargus, but I've never actually been to Ferdiad. Do you think it'll still be cold at this time of year? I can't even imagine.
Maybe we should ask someone.
Good point. I'll check with His Highness.
Okay, let's see here. There's a couple people here that I can talk to, so let's go ahead and do that. Is what we can do. It's been a while since anyone's been over here.
I never used
Awkward
to
place for a chair.
whether I lived or died, but after seeing so much death firsthand, I now realize how precious life truly is. I'm ashamed of how arrogant I was to think that death could mean so little.
Oh, Felix! Felix, I have to come and talk to you and see what you have to say for this month. Felix, 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 come out of your room.
He'll need to excel as a leader if he's to make up for my old man's death. Though if my father could see Dimitri now, he'd be glad to have made the sacrifice. Don't you dare tell anyone I said that.
Yeah, I was about to say that that's something that's kind of against everything he was arguing to his father about Glenn when it comes to sacrifice play. I won't tell anyone, Felix. Well?
There's a school of sorcery in Ferdiad, which is staffed by the top minds of magical research. The study of crests and sorcery should not be separate. I've often thought I should pay them a visit someday.
Now you will.
Never imagined I might end up invading the place with an army, though. Not how I imagined it at all.
Yep. Hey, Linhart.
Well, there are stories of heroes' relics 1,000 years ago, of which we have no real evidence today. So many, in fact, that I'm led to wonder if those relics are nothing more than legends.
So are there more than 10 then? I mean, there was supposed to be like 10 heroes relics or something like that if I'm remembering correctly, but earlier today while I was like bored on the train, I started counting them up in my head and I was like, wait, there is more than 10.
Especially since we know of relics like those passed down in the families of the 10
Okay, so maybe that's what I'm thinking of when it comes to 10, but there exist more than 10 relics. You know, because there's 3 swords, Thunderbrand, the sword of the creator, and Marianne's. There's 3 axes. There's the one that Gilbert has, there's the one that Annette has, and there's the one that Edelgard has. When it comes to currently in this playthrough, not canonically. Like, I know that's not supposed to go to Gilbert. I'm pretty sure that one's supposed to go to Hilda. There's 3 lances. There's a Lance of Ruin. There's Lewin or whatever the heck it is that Ingrid has right now. And then there's Dimitri's lance. There's just the one bow that I know of, which is Claude's there. But that, yeah, that's 3, 3, 3, 1. That already adds up to 10. And we already have other things like the gem that Mercedes has, or the Aegis shield, stuff like that.
It seems we will soon set foot in Ferdiad. I used to live there, you know, though that was before my time in the Officers' Academy.
Were you a traveler?
That's right. I was enrolled at the School of Magic there for a time. Trouble with
You're very purple, aren't you?
To return to Alliance lands. There was much I had yet to learn.
The battle at Gronder Field was gruesome, wasn't it? But perhaps it's irresponsible to look away. To close our eyes to the horrors of war.
I agree.
As survivors, we must ensure that all these lives were not lost in vain.
Yeah, look, Lorenz is given.
We must see the tragic foundations upon which we'll build our future. May an age of peace rise from the ashes, so that all this sacrifice means something.
Alright, there's a quest over there, apparently, that I can go accept. So we'll wind up doing that.
Taking back the land of home has the most importance. That is why I am fighting. All for my land of home. Actually, there is more. I am also fighting for you. And for everyone
Aw. Hello, Kraken. How's it going? Whoops. Whoopsie doopsie. Hello, hello.
His Highness, all the house leaders from way back when, assembled again at
It's going well. It's good to hear.
I wonder what their thoughts were as
Good.
they headed out to the battlefield.
But yeah, once combat starts, you will not be watching. Yeah, we just did chapter 5, which was like the second Battle of Eagle and Lion thing. And we're on to what, I forget what this one is called. Actually, I remember it, but I won't say what it is because that's kind of spoilery, I guess.
The Emperor was wounded at Gronder Field. What do you think is
Yeah, we're just kind of talking with people here. Okay, you know what it is. Okay, never mind.
A blow as well. Who knows what will become of them?
Mm.
From now on, we have to pay close attention to how the rest of
Also, shortly, we'll be doing a bunch of support conversations with Dimitri because we just unlocked those. So,
I am very grateful to you.
so that might be spoiler-y.
This is all thanks to you and Lord.
I only really know of the Battle of Eagle Line. I really like the music of it when I did it the last stream yesterday.
Leave the negotiations with House Fraldarius to me.
It's gotta be like one of my favorite themes in this game now.
It's a tricky business, but we are taking our first steps forward.
Nice. View quest. Oh, there's 2 of them.
I have a request.
Professor, might I ask you to help us secure resources? Sure.
I have a request.
There's a demand for flowers, but we have not yet gathered enough. Would you lend us a hand, Professor? If possible, I would ask for the most beautiful flowers you can find. Find some flowers and give them to Gilbert as a gift. Aww. Deliver the requested resources. Oh, I got those then. But yeah, you've been working on your secret project and the part is done. There's a secret project going on? And this game is slowly more disappointing you over time? I'm sorry to hear that. The main part. Sorry to hear that there. Because for me, it's getting better. Better and better here. Thank you for procuring resources. This isn't much, but please accept it along with my gratitude. Got some more renown and stuff. Oh wait, I gotta give them flowers. Oh yeah, I can motivate people with flowers and stuff too.
Thank you.
There, we got to... Let's give them some flowers. We'll motivate them with those actually.
Thank you.
Because I keep forgetting to give people things. I have 23 sunflowers. I can just not go to the dining hall and just give people some flowers and stuff that I'm getting. You have less and less motivation to play the game. Yeah, it is a really long game. Whoa! That didn't do the quest there? It just says find some flowers and give them to Gilbert as a gift. Is that something on the map then? Oh, it is. It's in the greenhouse. I gave him some flowers, man. Yeah, after I'm done with this playthrough, I'm gonna have to take a long break from this game. Mostly because I gotta get to streaming some other stuff that I've been wanting to for a long time. Like Okami HD and Bravely Second, which I've been trying to start since the beginning of this year, but there's too many other games that are taking up my time, like this. But yeah, since there are only 2 people here, you're gonna say the project, but only once. Well, I mean, if you do want to keep it a secret, I mean, the stuff is uploaded as well after to be archived away, so if you do want to keep it super secret.
Ferdiad, huh?
Although I don't think anybody watches the archived versions anyway. It's fine, alrighty.
During a warmer season, and going into battle? Not exactly an appealing prospect.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. I'll do what I can to help. I'm just so relieved that Dimitri is his old self again.
Working on a spooky level for Mario Maker 2. Nice. To celebrate Halloween. Yeah, for Halloween, I've been trying to make a spooky park in Planet Coaster, but I kind of wound up doing the second Ghostbusters DLC park for that. And it's so mind-bogglingly difficult that it's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it in time for Halloween. You know? But yeah, doing level design for it. Trying to make it all nice and spooky. That was my idea behind a theme park, but it's kind of not going the way I initially expected there. Let's get some training now, is what we can do. Where's Seteth at? Oh, we didn't talk to people over here yet. But nice, hope that goes well. I'd try it out if I played that game, but I don't. That was a haunted tower. So do you go like up it, or?
Further away from rescuing Lady Rhea.
Or still left to right?
Helped, can it? Perhaps some people will question this decision, but I trust your judgment.
You go up it. That's neat then.
Lady Rhea would want us to help in Ferdiad. She'd scold us if we rescued her and left innocent people suffering.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Seteth! Come train me how to fly. There you are. Playing around with optimal sound effects, which you barely use. Sound can really add to level design, as I've learned in this game making class. Anyway, wait, what was he saying? It seems we were headed for the Kingdom Capital this month. The Church of Sarah stands ready to land its aid to you and Dimitri.
It may be a roundabout route, but I believe this path will still eventually take us to Rhea.
Probably.
Besides, saving the people of Fargus is just what she would want us to do.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I need advanced training from you. Freaking boobity bop. Great. Frosted Flakes cereal. Alrighty now, who's over in here? I think Manuel is the last person to talk to. I think. You're honestly debating on stopping 3 houses after Blue Lions? Yeah, I'm gonna take a while before I continue with it, but I'm such a big Fire Emblem nerd that I know that I'm gonna do all routes, and then from there I might even do like challenge runs of different things I've come up with.
Fighting with 3 different
Like this is probably gonna be over the course of like a year or something like that. It's probably gonna be a several 100-part long series. We're already at part, like, I believe this is part 148 currently.
Enemies
and stream 37.
dying, one on top of the other.
Oh man.
What an absolute mess, huh?
Interested Jay in the church route is something just gonna be something you won't play probably.
If only I had my infirmary out in
Yeah, I
Gromberg.
just have to.
Maybe I could have saved a few more lives.
I just gotta do them all. That's just the kind of person I am when it comes to Fire Emblem games. But yeah, I can see how it would be draining, especially with like the first half being the same and such. So I can see how that would be draining. Where's Ingrid again? Oh, she's there. Oh, but she can't even trade me in flying anyway, unless I already did that. I don't think anyone else can train me in that kind of stuff. All right, what else do I want to practice then? Bow, maybe? I'm thinking maybe bow. I don't know. Combat also just keeps getting more and more stale. Well, then start making builds like I am, like Vantage plus Wrath plus Defiant Crit. I streamed this game yesterday. I managed to get Cyril up to 100% crit rate. It was incredible.
Everyone is what he was. That is
I was blown away by that. No, I don't really need to do that. Lances and bows are the things I think I'll do some training in, if I can. Here's this person no one likes, Leone. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been hearing there. Now you can just trade me in riding there. Who could trade me in something else? Bernadette might be able to trade me in bows, I imagine. But yeah, I can see how it could get stale. Unless you're a crazy person like me who makes Excel spreadsheets for each game and tries to make crazy builds. In that case, it doesn't get stale.
This experience is critical.
Like, I replayed through Fire Emblem Fates several times with like all kinds of different wacky builds that I was planning out. Like, this playthrough I'll try these builds. This playthrough I'll try these builds. Stuff like that. Gladiolus. Flowers used as an offering for those who died in war. The flowers are colorful, but the leaves are sharp as blades. Sounds dangerous. Okay, we gotta give Gilbert flowers. Gotta appease him with flowers. Honestly, it's not even the combat like breaking the game. You just don't want to play the game after. Blue Lions is likely to be your final route. Yeah, when it comes to gameplay, I still really want to try out Maddening difficulty. Like, it's a shame I started this playthrough before Maddening difficulty came out, because I can't wait to try that, because I very much like being pushed by Fire Emblem games, as long as it's not. As long as it's not like Fire Emblem Awakening on Lunatic Plus Classic. Where's that thing? Where's that one that I picked up? There it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh dang, I didn't read the thing there. Whatever. Wasn't important anyway. What can you trade me in here? Sure, Lance it is. But yeah, Fates honestly has better combat for you, and that says a lot about you. Yeah, I prefer it in this game for sure. Like, it was way too easy to break the game in Fates. Like, it was fun to break the game in Fates. Just pass on a whole bunch of skills like Hashido, Nor, Soul, Dragonfang, Luna, Ether, Lethality, Pavi's Aegis, all those like chance to activate skills, and you just become like insane. Astra, did I say that one? And it becomes super fun, but they wound up removing basically all those in this game. Lethality's still around. Yeah, I miss Lethality having an animation. Like, I was sad that that was gone here. But yeah, having on a bunch of skills and breaking the game like that made it very fun to do that. But it was so easy to become overpowered, and then you just put that one unit right into the fray and never have to worry about anything. But this game, like, both takes away that super overpowered stuff and makes it so that puts you in situations where you're forced to use multiple units. Like, especially in the case of like Demonic Beast, for example. That was actually a very creative thing with the multiple health bars, where it literally forces you to have to use multiple units. So you actually have to think more in this game. Like, there's a lot more strategy that goes into it, rather than Fates, where it's just like, put on OP skills, go to town, and that was basically all it was at the end of the day, when it comes to people who would grind for that like me. You know? And this is after playing all 3 routes on Lunatic Classic. That's basically what it narrowed down to, apart from like Final Boss, where strategy was like, fly over to the final boss as fast as possible before you get mega debuffed by all the staff debuffers, which were frankly OP. Man, I hated that chapter with Iago in the Conquest route. But you liked when the boss and not the monsters were way more threatening. Yeah, well, I mean, I've had a decent amount of trouble with bosses sometimes in the past with this game. Like, the boss with Edelgard, in my first playthrough that I did, Felix was the only one who could attack her without, like, immediately dying. Which was wacky. And yeah, I've definitely liked the final maps here and such. Golden Deer remains your favorite final map? Yeah, I'm gonna have to play through Golden Deer one of these days. And Whale, if you want to avoid conversation spoilers, we're gonna be seeing support conversations now since we've done everything else here. So let's go visit Dimitri since he wants to talk. He wants to have a good old chat. What are you doing?
Sleep evades me, so I thought I'd get in some extra training. I was just about to finish. Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago.
What wounds?
The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder. Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were.
Who was she?
I don't know, but I have a guess. I suppose I haven't told you about that yet.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time.
Are you okay?
Of course. I could capture the lot of them with my eyes closed. It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one I face hatred. During the last 5 years especially. My life was not so different from that of a wild beast. And that young girl's brother. At some point I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated. Because I stole and... because I killed. But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with.
I feel the same way.
Yes. As one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war, until the day my life comes to an end.
We can confront it together.
Thank you. You know, Professor, there is something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
Nice, man. Dimitri's finally opening up. And speaking of, we have a bunch of support conversations with him with other people. But hello, SJ. How are things going today? Things are swale. Alright, let's see what's going on with the Dew.
Your Highness, you still have scars on your back. It does you no good to languish in pain. I will procure some medicine.
No, it is fine. Well, they are still deep. These are from 9 years ago. They do not hurt any longer. And besides, it would be a shame if the scars I got from protecting you were to fade. I bear these scars proudly. It makes me think that it was worthwhile that someone like me survived.
To hear you say such things.
You say that I saved you. But do you know that you also saved me that day? If I had been unable to save anyone, I would have been the sole survivor. I would have had no reason to keep living. But I saved someone. Saved you. That and that alone has always been my crutch.
When I stood before those soldiers and their swords that day, I was prepared to die. But then, you suddenly appeared, and you shielded me. I knew then that a savior's hand could reach into even the deepest darkness. I still have not been able to repay that debt.
Have you not heard a word I've said? You have saved me in countless ways. 5 years ago, I did nothing but await my execution within my jail cell. Was it not you that saved me?
That was nothing more than my duty as your vassal.
Listen, to do. Perhaps you consider me to be someone special, but I think the same of you. You are irreplaceable, cherished. So stop saying that we cannot be friends. Stop saying such awful things.
Please, do not look at me that way. You promised me you would build a kingdom that is proud to boast of Duscur blood. In this kingdom, where there is no distinction between the people of Duscur and the people of Fodlan, will I finally, without reservation, be able to call you my friend? Will I, Dimitri?
To do. Yes, you will call me your friend again and again, no matter how many hardships I must endure.
I will do all I can to bring about that world as well. To be your friend is what I have always wanted.
Is that so? I am glad to hear it.
But until that time, we must allow no harm to befall you. So please call upon me when you walk alone at night. And even when you go out in the day, please tell me where you are going and whom you are meeting.
In the end, I suppose there is no fixing your overprotectiveness, is there? I suppose I can live with that.
Oh, that was pretty cute there. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, I felt more engaged with the pre-time skip of this route than I did with Black Eagles for sure. I mean, I haven't tried Golden Deer yet, but the characters of the Blue Lions here actually took part in the story of the pre-time skip there. Actually had connections to it and such, so I quite liked that there. Ooh, this will be interesting to see.
I have a question for you. Answer quickly before my hand slips and I cut you in half.
Always so ominous. Well, what is it, Felix?
Sometimes you have an animal's face, contorted with anger and bloodlust. At other times, a man's with a friendly smile. Which is your true face?
Do not waste your breath on questions with such obvious answers. They are both the real me. My father, my friends, Glenn. They all meant a great deal to me. And they were all brutally slaughtered. I alone survived. If I do not shoulder the anguish and regret they must have felt, who will?
So that's how you justify your atrocities.
What do you mean?
I will fulfill my duty to the late king. My old man used to say that over and over like a mantra. How nauseating. No one seems to understand. The dead won't acknowledge your loyalty. They don't care. What a load of bunk it is, pretending to serve a corpse. You're serving your own ego.
You are wrong.
No, I'm not. The dead are dead. The living are living. You have to respect that boundary. If you keep stringing gravestones around your neck, you'll snap.
Even still, I cannot forget them, nor can I let them go.
Then keep those thoughts to yourself. If you're too weak to do that, abandon your throne. Become a gravekeeper.
Felix.
I'm not immune to emotion, you know. Far from it. I haven't gone a day without questioning why my father and brother had to die, while I survived. I'll bear this pain until the day I die, but I refuse to wallow in it. I have more important things to do than blubber for my whole life.
You know, Felix, you really are growing more and more like your brother. Always so sarcastic and constantly looking for a fight. But deep inside, more than anyone, you...
What are you getting at?
Oh, it's nothing. But allow me to thank you. Your perspective has opened my eyes.
Not my intention. I couldn't stand the pathetic look on your face, that's all.
I see. If you say so, then we will leave it at that.
Yeah, that was a really solid support conversation there, for sure. Alright, let's see the end of this one then.
Good evening, Dimitri. Have you come to pray?
Something like that. And you?
Oh yes, that's why I'm here. I love how calm and peaceful the cathedral is this late at night.
It really is.
Coming here on a quiet night,
always makes me think of those who aren't with us anymore. We've lost so many in this war, too many to count. I hope they all get to live in eternal happiness at the goddess's side. These prayers are all I have to offer.
You are a kind soul, Mercedes.
I think you're kind too, Dimitri. Sometimes to a fault.
Kind? Me? No, not at all. I am just a killer. A disgusting monster.
But why do you kill? For the sake of your loved ones? Those who have passed? Real monsters kill for selfish reasons. They're incapable of expressing sorrow when they kill. So please, don't call yourself a monster.
Mercedes, I am scared. So scared that I will forget their faces. The people who have died. Who I have killed. I cannot let myself forget them. I know that, and yet, whatever my feelings, it is all the act of a monster.
It's sad, but the truth is that people forget. You may be afraid to forget your past, but you'll never be able to revisit it. Living in the present is the best we can do. We owe it to those who can't come back.
If someone had said those words to me 5 years ago, I would be a different man today.
What do you want to do now, Dimitri? Continue fighting for those who have died? Not as a king, but as my classmate. What do you want to do?
My own dreams. I have never given it any thought. What about you? What do you want, Mercedes?
I want to keep sewing and training with you, even after you've become king. I want to be your friend.
But I have no right to stand beside you.
Please, I can't hear any more of this self-deprecation. I just want to be by your side. Is that so much to ask?
Mercedes, I want the same thing. If you allow it, I wish to stay by your side.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. Let's spend a little more time here together, just the two of us.
Dimitri's fixing his relationships. Seems like there's a two-parter with Annette, which is interesting. And a two-part with Flane as well. Huh. Thought his interactions were one note? What do you mean by that? Just like pretty simple? Or also, or you mean like thought all of them didn't think that there were any two-parters or something? Because this is a two-parter, I don't want Dimitri to wind up going with Annette by the end of this after seeing how Annette and Felix's conversations go. I want to make sure those two stay together, you know? Anyway, yeah, those two continue. We'll see the beginning ones of the two-parters last then from the group.
Finally, you score a point against me on the ground. You have improved, Ingrid.
That was nothing more than a fluke. My technique was horribly sloppy that last round.
It does not matter what sort of technique it was. You won. If this had been a real battle, I would be dead. You wielded your lance well, without any hesitation. Has your approach changed?
You may recall when I said I'm now able to move on, because of you.
I remember. What did you mean by it?
That I finally understand the truth about Glenn. It sounds as though he died with a heavy heart. A heart that carried regret. I had suspected as much. But instead of acknowledging it, I twisted my memory of him to fit an ideal I've been upholding.
I see.
Your Highness, I will not sacrifice my life for anyone. But perhaps instead, I can live my life for someone. I will pledge my life to you.
And how exactly am I meant to interpret that?
However you please, Your Highness.
Oh? Well then. Ingrid, when this is all over, I want you to support and defend me. As my knight. I have been thinking of telling you this for a long time. We get along well, you and I.
As your knight? Yes, of course. Of course I will. I intended to do so for the sake of the kingdom. Together, Your Highness. You and I. Our first order of business. Putting this tragic war to an end.
Yes. And while we're at it, do not die on me, Ingrid. Promise me that.
Yes, Your Highness. I swear it on my lance.
Wow, way to shoot her down, Dimitri. Wow. My oh my. I already talked about Felix there, SJ? Or Dimitri. But yeah, Ring Fit Adventure is out, but I'm not gonna get it for several days because Amazon 1-day shipping here typically equals 1 week. Actually, to be more precise, if you buy it the day it comes out, they get it to you in 1 day. If you pre-order it months in advance, they get it to you in a week after release. And yeah, Felix, then that makes sense.
Marianne?
Oh, yes?
May I sit here? There isn't another open spot.
You may.
I'm sorry. I should have eaten in my quarters. I know you asked me to stay away from you.
No, it's fine. About the other day, when you said you didn't regret risking your own life.
I apologize for whatever foolish thing I said to upset you, truly. But may I ask what happened?
It's just... there is only misfortune for anyone who comes near me.
Misfortune?
I'm afraid so. Especially those with complete disregard for their own safety.
Ah, so I didn't offend you. You're trying to tell me I should be more concerned for my own safety. Well, I suppose I could improve in that regard. As for you causing misfortune, I think that's far from the truth. In fact, I find you to be a lucky charm of sorts.
Me? Lucky? I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that at all. My entire life up until this point has been nothing but a string of unfortunate events.
But misfortune finds us all. Perhaps those around you have suffered or even perished. But look at you. You're still here, alive and well.
That's...
It doesn't feel good, does it? To be the one left behind? You feel guilt for not dying along with the others.
How did you know?
You and I are the same. Maybe you should fear being cursed with misfortune for coming near me. A smile and a laugh. Coming from you, that's a rarity. This must be my lucky day.
I just find the idea amusing. It's strange to think that someone like you could have anything in common with me.
Is it so terrible a thought?
No, it's not that. It actually makes me happy. As though there's finally someone who understands how I truly feel.
Oh, that was a pretty nice one there. And it's one that you can only get in this route with Marianne, considering it's the only route where you have Dimitri. Freaking, whoa, cursor, Gilbert, sure.
Gustav, it has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission.
There is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. The tragedy of Duscur. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness, you have changed as well.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav, even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Fargus has become.
Please, I beg your forgiveness, but there is no place left for me in that land.
I see. Though much has changed, your stubbornness remains. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. but I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth. If only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
And yeah, I agree with Felix there. Like, there's so much more depth to him than you see in the other routes.
Your Highness, I have one more favor to ask.
Is this about Gustav again? I have plenty more stories about him, but perhaps it is time for you to speak with him yourself.
Oh, it's not about Father this time. This time I wanted to ask about you.
About me?
I mean, I heard all about Father last time, but I didn't ask about you.
Ah, well, I'm afraid there is not much of interest for me to tell you.
Oh, it doesn't have to be funny or interesting. That's not why I'm asking. It's just that I thought I already knew you, but I'm not sure I really do. That day when we were reunited at the monastery, I didn't know what to say to you. So I wanted to prepare some of your favorite food. I thought maybe if you ate something that you liked, you'd cheer up a little. But when I got to the kitchen, I realized I didn't even know what you like to eat.
I see. Well, it's a little hard to say what my favorite is. I just don't really have any strong feelings about food. That said, you're pretty keen on sweet things, right, Annette?
Yes, that's right. I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Oh, did you know there's a famous sweet shop in the capital?
Yes. It often had long lines outside, didn't it? The castle guards often spoke of it.
The sweets were so good. They cost a fortune, but I loved them. When Father was still around, we all lived as a family in the capital. Since then, I've had them only a few times. How I'd love to taste them again.
Say, Annette, when this war is over, where will you go? I heard that you were close to Baron Dominic back in the academy days.
That's right. But that's not where I think I'd like to go when all of this is over. I reconnected with Father, so I'd like to live with my family again, in the capital. Also, if I'm in the capital, I'll be able to see you from time to time, right?
Ah, that settles it then. We'll have to get your father working twice as hard.
Father's at a ripe old age now. I'd appreciate it if you didn't work him too hard.
Oh, of course. I will keep that in mind.
So apparently that conversation goes on. Another level of A there, and apparently there's a two-parter with Flame as well. That's interesting.
Up this late practicing with your lance, are you?
And what about you? Have you got something on your mind again? You really should go to bed. It is chilly out, and you could catch cold. What's the matter? Have you been having nightmares?
Well, in a certain sense, yes. Can you spare a moment?
Of course.
Thank you. I want to apologize to you. When last we spoke, I mishandled the situation.
Your words that night touched me deeply. It felt as though I had been punched in the gut. But more importantly, I think I owe you an apology. I lied to you.
You did?
Do you recall when I ate that meal you cooked and I told you it was delicious? The truth is that no matter what I eat, I can scarcely taste it. I have not had my sense of taste for 9 years now.
My cooking certainly is not something people often compliment me on.
I am sorry. When I said the food was good, I was just saying what I thought you would want to hear.
An apology is not necessary. You were only trying to be kind, after all.
In the end, I am not sure it was kind.
Just the same, it was nice to hear. Oh, hey! I have an idea! What if you sampled some really pungent food? Or something extremely spicy? Maybe that would...
Flame.
Yes?
I like your cooking. I cannot taste it properly, but in my book, it is truly delicious.
No need for the flattery. Anyhow, maybe someday you will get your taste back. I hope then you will be able to compliment me sincerely about my cooking.
And apparently that's a two-parter as well. So that's all of Dimitri's support conversations. Let's see the rest of everyone else's.
Oh, Didu! Are you praying to the goddess of Fodlan? That seems odd. Won't the Dusker gods be upset if they hear you praying to another land's deity?
The Fodlan goddess was recognized in Dusker, too. The deities of foreigners are seen as the protectors of their respective lands. It has been said that we would offer our prayers to her in times of war.
Huh. So the goddess is part of a pantheon. I guess that's one way to interpret it. Anyway, what are you praying for?
For peace to come even one day sooner.
That's a lovely prayer. I was just thinking about praying for that myself.
I see.
Hey, Ditu, what are your plans for yourself once this war is finally over?
To serve His Highness for the rest of my days.
I thought you might say that.
And you?
That's a good question. I was thinking about traveling to Dusker.
To Dusker? There is nothing of interest left there.
Isn't it where you were born? And isn't it where your wonderful food and stories come from? I think those are reasons enough to visit at least once.
Mercedes, if you will allow it, I would like to accompany you. His Highness would surely grant me leave to go.
You really think so? Then I hope the war ends as soon as possible.
As do I.
We're going to have to shower the goddess with prayers. We'll pray that she watches over and protects us while we work to end this war. Then, when it's finally finished, we can travel.
That promises to be interesting. We should pray to the Dusker gods as well.
Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Which of the Dusker gods should we pray to?
For victory, we pray to the god of war. Or just the god of war.
Come on, what were you going to say? Oh, I know. It's the god of travel, right?
Let us leave it at that.
I knew I was right. You taught me so much about your gods. So let's pray. For the end of the war, and for our safe travels to Dusker.
The dude was gonna say something else. Let's see this one.
Do you need something? Let's hear it.
Oh, no, I don't need anything. I was just hoping to talk to you, Felix.
When I said you could be near me, I meant on the battlefield. You're pushing it a little too far. You better not start calling me Emil.
You know, I'm not just using you as a stand-in for my brother. I don't mean to upset you, but I've come to realize that you two don't have that much in common after all.
I don't understand. Why are you hanging around me if not to replace your brother?
It's not that I want to be near Emil, but I want to be near you.
What?
How embarrassing. It must sound like I'm coming on to you. Regardless, you've made it clear that you don't want me around.
No. It's not that.
Good. Then I'll continue to spend time at your side.
What a perplexing creature.
What's that? Did you say something? Never mind that. Why don't we go out for a nice cup of tea?
I can't think of a reason to refuse your invitation, so I suppose I have to accept.
Nice, nice. Felix is starting to connect with people. Oh, here's the final one with Flame that we saw in the first playthrough too.
Felix!
You, what is it now?
Do not fret. I have not come to ask you to chop wood. I have other things to speak of with you. You said that for one to live, they must also be prepared to kill.
This again. Yes, that's what I said. You still have a problem with that?
No, I do not have a problem with it at all. I simply want you to live too.
Oh, okay. Then I'll get back to my training.
Excuse me, I am not finished yet. During this time of war, you must wield your sword to ensure your own life. If that is the case, then it follows that we should bring an end to this war.
To end the war, you'd have to kill more people.
Perhaps that is true. But once all is said and done, there would no longer be a need to kill, only to live. Is that not so?
That's pure fantasy. But if it came to pass, there would be no place for me. What would I do? I was raised to swing a sword. It's all I know. In a world without strife, warriors like me would be lost souls. It's tragic in a way. We fight to bring peace, and then, if we achieve it, we lose our purpose.
I do not think that is anything you should worry yourself over. If the war ends and peace reigns, I shall be sure to have plenty of wood chopping for you to do.
What a generous offer.
And you will never be short on fruits and vegetables to chop for me either. If you felt like you lost your purpose in life, surely you would find a new purpose. It is not like you to be afraid of losing something after all.
I never thought about it, but maybe there is a path for me in peacetime. I'm intrigued. I might even like to realize this fantasy of yours.
Oh, that brings me such joy, Felix. Together we can make this a reality. I can see it now. A life where you slice vegetables rather than people. I will greatly enjoy the day when we inhabit a world like that.
Nice, nice. That's all of Felix's support conversations. And yeah, that's a pretty nice shift there. Oh, and we can see the final one of this then.
Why am I so unlucky with women lately?
Oh, Sylvain, what's that face for? Have you been dumped again?
Isn't there an unwritten rule you shouldn't ask someone that?
I'm sorry. I thought you didn't mind being dumped. So your love life can get you down sometimes after all. Who knew?
I'm sad every time I break up with someone. It's just, I usually try to be the one doing the breaking up. I've never had a hard time with girls. Ever. Not until recently. But now when I think about it, I wonder what any of them even liked about me. It's not as if any of them knew much about me. I don't get it.
Isn't that what a relationship is for? Learning about someone else? You can't know it all right at the start.
I asked you before if you would have invited me out if I was a peasant.
You did ask me that, yes.
That was wrong of me to say. It's not an excuse, but I'm always so suspicious. I'm a nobleman with a crest. The marriage proposals don't stop coming. Everybody wants me, except they don't actually want me at all. They want my bloodline. Within my family and without. It's always the same story. Sometimes I think that if I didn't have a crest, no one would look at me twice.
I see. And you're probably not wrong. Honestly, I've had those same sort of thoughts myself.
Oh? What sort of thoughts might those be?
I sang, people cheered and applauded, and when I walked off stage, I'd find the same thing every night. A mountain of presents and marriage proposals. But none of those people knew me. All they knew was the singer they saw on the stage. All they wanted was my looks and my voice. None of them even tried to get to know the real me.
I'm pretty sure I've heard this somewhere.
We may come from different places, but we're much the same, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I suppose we are. Look, Dorothea, I've realized something. Even if you were an old grandma, I'd still flirt with you. And I'd absolutely win you over. Though, I'd much rather win you over now, and be with you until you become an old grandma.
That might be the most legitimately romantic thing you've ever said, Sylvain. And I can't say I disagree. I'd rather you win me over now, too. So that I can stay by your side until you're an old grandpa.
Well, before any of that, will you go to dinner with me?
I'd be happy to.
That was a nice one, wasn't it? So that's all the support. Wait, it's not? There's more? No, freaking. I have to scroll so far down, I was confused there.
Marianne, do you mind if I ask you about something? Yes? It's about animal behavior. Among us all, you surely know the most about animals. I've read that in outdoor battles, wild animals can sometimes cause unexpected confusion. What do you think would be the best strategy to... are you listening, Marianne?
I was listening. I just don't think I can really...
For crying out loud! Why do you always have to admit defeat before even giving yourself a chance?
My advice would probably just put everyone in danger. You'd be better off without me.
This is beyond ridiculous. You're impossible.
You seem convinced you're some sort of cursed being, destined to bring doom and gloom to anyone you encounter.
Well,
why do you have such a terrible opinion of yourself? How could you possibly be so dense? Just nothing. Now you listen to me for a moment. I can see that you have some deep-seated turmoil you struggle with. I'll have you know I have quite a few issues of my own, perhaps more grave than yours, if you can imagine.
Really?
Yes, but I'm not the only one who has such troubles to contend with. Everyone does. That's why it's so important to maintain a positive outlook and do what we can. Each time we find the light in the dark, we grow, bit by bit. And without growth, what's the point in carrying on?
Lysithea, I envy your confidence and strength.
Don't envy me. Instead, just choose to find the positive, won't you?
Yes. Well, maybe someday.
The time is now! This is your moment!
Oh, okay.
That's more like it. Now to start, why don't you help me out by answering my questions about wild animals?
I'll certainly try my best.
Nice, man. Okay, so now that's all the support conversations. I have so many freaking units, it's insane. Yeah, I guess we'll finish the exploration. There wasn't anything else for me to do, was there? Guess not. I already gave Gilbert his flowers and such. Yeah, you did say so. It was movie time after all.